Welcome, boys and girls. Costin here with a discussion about Grimgor Ironhide in Lords of the End Times, because there have been many characters that had different roles in the End Times. You can talk about Skarsnik, you can talk about Belagar, you can talk about Teclis. You can talk about a significant number of people, including Manfred, if you want to count Manfred as a person. Well, I suppose technically he is, but all the same, everyone had their own motivation. Grimgor's motivation was very clear-cut. He just wanted to prove that he is the best against everyone. Against Chaos Dwarves, he wanted to pay back against them. He wanted to be the unstoppable force that is Grimgor. And that is really his motivation, and it's pretty clear-cut as to where he stands compared to everyone else. Everyone else had very significant motivations. Grimgor was like, I just want to stir shit up and I want to prove that I'm the best, and then, you know, get that title. And maybe have a lot of fun along the way, because obviously Grimgor does enjoy the struggle itself. That was pretty honest. And so when Archaon wanted to destroy the world, Grimgor was like, no, we are not doing that. When Malekith told him, essentially, that if he didn't step in to fight Archaon, then Archaon would be the best. Well, Grimgor took that as a personal goddamn challenge in the truest sense of the word. And that is what makes Grimgor such an amazing character and such an appealing character to me, because that's kind of what I do as well for a living, really. It's like, I don't really care about the games that everyone else plays around me. I just care about playing video games, doing YouTube videos, and living a life well. That's the quintessential aspect about Grimgor. He enjoys the fight, he enjoys the struggle, I enjoy life. That's essentially it. There's nothing more that needs to be said about Grimgor. I see what I see, I act in the way I act, I make videos on subjects that I think are important. There's nothing more complicated than that, boys and girls. So, in essence, I am the Grimgor. Well, Grimgor if you combined him with the Karl Franz, because we do work on YouTube, and there is the YouTube empire to also take into account for, right? Viewers, analytics, etc. So that's the combination that you could say that I have in myself. I mean, also, when you look at Karl Franz, his motivation is also pretty simple. He wants to keep the empire together, keep everyone alive, keep everyone happy and thriving. Grimgor wants to tear it down, Karl Franz wants to build it up, but the motivation is what matters, the intent. Both of them have a very clear-cut objective on things. Like, obviously, I align far more as a person with Karl Franz than I do with Grimgor. That's a different discussion, but I do respect the heck out of the motivation when it's very simple, when it's very clear to understand it. And it is very, very, very clear with regards to Grimgor. He fights battles, he's really good in battles. Like, when we're talking about a video game perspective, the fact that he has Black Orc Big Bosses, global recruitment, and extra capacity for Black Orc Big Bosses, as well as a whole bunch of benefits for Black Orcs, as well as shard bonus for Black Orcs, you kind of just respect the heck out of the guy, right? Bigger and harder, so Orc Biggins, and then you talk about Orc Boar Biggins, so you end up having a significant level of power and capability with him. Pretty simple, really. Like, we can talk about Karl Franz, and that's probably going to be the next video on the subject, because he is also a very important character to talk about. But we can't have the end times without Grimgor. Now, the hilarious part is that Grimgor literally needs no campaign changes. He just needs events around him, like events. It's like, oh, fight Greasus and then get the ogres on your side, because that's what Grimgor did. Vassalization, confederation with ogres, you know. I think he got the assassin hero on his side in the end times, and he also got Maneater on his side. So yeah, he fought Scrag and Greasus, because Greasus and Scrag were like, no, we are the ones in charge, and it's like Grimgor is like, lol. That is quintessential Grimgor. Anyone who thinks they're better than Grimgor finds out very quickly, very fast, how they are insignificant compared to the might and power of Grimgor. I mean, just really consider this. Like, I just started this campaign, I'm on turn 1, and it's like, boom, explosion time. Like, for all that we can say about Gorbad or the Greenskin overall situation as a race, Grimgor just embodies the power of the race perfectly. Absolutely, the WoW mechanic could use an overhaul, and I think that's one of the things that Creative Assembly should focus on with the end times. But again, maybe they do the end times. Some people have suggested they should do the end times in various package deals. So the first package would be Nagash, the second package could be Malekith, and it could also affect, I don't know, the Greenskins in a secondary role. Because if you're going to do a rework for Malekith, it would be interesting to see Malekith just getting Grimgor on his side. I mean, that would be the most hilarious thing in the freaking world. It's like, you already can play a large number of actions in the game. You can play Tamarkan, you can play Kolek, you can play Khorne even, and just be like, hey, Grimgor, you want to be my vassal? And Grimgor is like, do I get to fight people? Yes. Okay. Are you offering me something worthwhile? Yeah, I'm offering you good fights. And that's the crazy part here. Grimgor does not need you to control him directly. If you make him a vassal, he will get shit done on his own. In fact, he'll actually get shit done better if you make him a vassal, or if you're playing Boris Ursus or Kislev, you can actually make him an ally and just be like, here's the target, I'm pointing you at the target, go eliminate the target. And Grimgor will do that. It's kind of freaking hilarious and really, really damn amusing and amazing how one of the most straightforward characters that a lot of people think he lacks depth has that brilliant simplicity in his campaign that is just really amazing. That's why I like Grimgor as a campaign. That's why I like either fighting him or dealing with him as an ally, because he's pretty clear-cut. A lot of characters that have this level of complications that shouldn't exist in a video game from my perspective, it's just nice. Beyond all the layers of complication, all the layers of, oh, I have these cool mechanics. Okay, are those going to be useful to me as a vassal or ally? It's like, nah, kinda. That's the problem with Sale, the Faithless, really, the big problem. And also Tzeentch, we can't forget Tzeentch. Tzeentch is an annoyance, even as an ally or vassal. Tzeentchian factions. Lizardmen are kind of useless. It's like, yeah, that's also a problem. But Greenskins, they get shit done. Funnily enough, so does Skaven. Yeah. Try playing a campaign as Scarbrand and vassalizing Queek Headtaker. You'll find out very quickly what that rodent can do, because he is nigh on fucking unstoppable. Or playing a Gorebank campaign and making Queek your ally, which can be tricky, but if you do make him an ally and a trusted ally and he keeps his word, I mean, with Skaven, it's more of a case you really need to force a vassalization on them and have that mechanic, because without it, they're gonna backstab you. Though, hilariously enough, I think Queek is the most reliable of the Skaven allies, because most Skaven factions, especially Tretch, in particular Tretch, will tend to backstab you very, very quickly. Because Tretch is like, you want to go get me involved in a war? Nah, not gonna happen, boss. And it's like, yeah, that's Tretch. That's why he's useless. That's why he's one of the most annoying factions to deal with on the campaign map, because he will recruit a lot of power, and then he'll screw you over. Then screw you over even more, and then Skaven mechanics are such in a way that they're annoying to deal with. But make Skaven allies like Snitch or Queek, hell, even Ikeclaw and Fraught, things end up working far better. But yeah, if there is a cornerstone of diplomacy at work here that actually does work well, it is with Grimgor, and they could be improved further. The Greenskin rework wasn't perfect. The problems have to do with Shamans only increasing capacity at tier 4, which is why Azag is much better than the others in a lot of ways. And also a fun thing about Azag. Azag, for all his issues or lack of mechanics, is actually kind of really good as a Legendary Lord for the Greenskin. So, yeah, imagine playing a campaign as Grimgor, confederating all the other Greenskins and getting their kind of capabilities, like Warzag, Skarsnik, etc. Like, having that playing campaign as Grimgor in particular and getting, you know, some of the lore of death and shamans that Azag has, Skarsnik's ambushing capabilities, though Skarsnik does definitely need a rework in terms of his lord skill line. He's got a great campaign, not so great of a skill line. Grimgor has a lot of things going for him. He's very strong in battle, he has a good skill line, he has a lot of good faction effects, and he's a great ally if you can get him. If is the question. It's kind of like getting ancient Sparta on your side. Getting them on your side is a difficult proposition, but once you do get them, they will never break free because their honor demands it. That's the quintessential. He's the Spartan of Total War Warhammer, and that's what I love about him. Costin here signing out. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you boys on the next one. If you do enjoy my content, consider supporting me via PayPal, Patreon, or through Super Chats. See you then.